It's been described as the single biggest growth opportunity in sport. Record attendances in Spain, record viewing figures in the UK. In the week of International Women's Day, we're asking the question, just what does the future of the game look like from a female perspective? Hello there and welcome to Football Now from Doha. My name is Sam Ashu. International Women's Day is one of the most important days of the year. A global celebration of the political, social and economic achievements of women. So today we're taking a look at the current state of play in football. So let's start with some inspiring stories from over the past couple of months. This includes the Afghan national team, who played their first fixture just 2 months after fleeing the country back in November. The team were hosted by Qatar, playing at the Khalifa International Stadium, or in Saudi Arabia, where the country hosted a first ever nationwide women's league in January as part of their plans to create a national team and eventually qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup. And just a few weeks ago, Salima Mukansanga made history when she became the first ever female referee in the African Cup of Nations. But what about the history of the game then? Well, the first recorded women's football match took place in London between North and South at Crouch End Athletic Ground on the 23rd of March 1895. In the UK, the sport grew in popularity during World War I, with one game in Liverpool attracting a reported 53,000 people.
It was huge, and over 100 clubs across the country playing too, so it wasn't just that one example. So yeah, it really was huge, big crowds, huge engagement, raised loads and loads of money for the war effort, so raised the equivalent of tens of millions of pounds now for the war effort at the time too. So yeah, really an integral part of society and communities across the country.
But a year later, there were problems. The Football Association banning women's football, describing it as unsuitable for females. Germany, France and Spain all followed suit soon after. The bans would run all the way until 1971. And over in the football-mad country of Brazil, their suspension would last for 40 years, 1941 to 1981.
To have that taken away from you, your livelihood, the joy that you have within the game and that opportunity to play, it must have been absolutely devastating for them at the time.
And so to 1971, bans for women in football begin to lift across Europe, a breakthrough moment.
We know now, don't we, how that's held women's game back still for so long, but no, real hats off to those trailblazers that work so hard to get the game back and being played for all women and girls.
Fast forward to the modern day, things on the whole are invariably better. Take in Spain, for instance, where this month's Clásico between Barcelona Femení and Real Madrid Femenino sold over 80,000 tickets, a world record. Or in the States, where the US Soccer Federation offered to pay its international male and female players equal contracts. TV viewing figures are an all-time high in a number of European countries too.
This massive shift of people that are stumbling across women's football for the first time, realising it's a really fantastic product, and then going on to watch other women's football and other women's sport too. So that reaching an untapped fan is a huge opportunity as well.
But what about the players themselves? Well, in February, a report by the World Players Union FIFPro found that players are underloading as a result of not playing often or consistently enough, competing in an average of 22 matches in the 2019-20 season. A sad irony, considering the debate in the men's game is that they are playing too much. Now, we also need to have a conversation about sports journalism. A recent report by the Washington Post stating that male journalists earn 13.5% more than female journalists with the same experience for those with 5 years in the industry or more. Now, that is just not good enough.
Well, sometimes it's definitely challenging to be a woman reporter. People may shout at you from the stands, and it's something very inappropriate. Women reporters still got a lot of online abuse. Not because you're a bad reporter or you did a mistake or something, just because you're a woman. And it's not your place to be here, as they think. So yes, it's challenging, but it's very interesting, and I love my job, and I hope that it will be better for women in the future.
It's not all doom and gloom, though.
Hi, my name is Tia Hammarkvist, and I play for Kviding FIF in Sweden.
As well as playing the game at a high level, Thea writes about it too. She says conditions for players are improving.
I think it's interesting how far we've come in such a short period of time, because just when I was younger, like when I started out as a 6-year-old, there wasn't like mostly any women's football games on TV or stuff like that. But now it's a lot more accessible, especially more with the Champions League, for example, and WSL. So I think it's really important to highlight and celebrate Women's Day.
Plenty of reasons to be optimistic then, but what exactly does the future hold for women in football?
More women can live on their football now as professionals, and that's a huge change from before. And just the support from the fans, and as I've said, we still got a long way to go, but there's no doubt that the conditions have improved.
So we've given an overview into the history of women's football and looked at the present successes and challenges that the game still possesses. But what more can be done going forward? Do let us know what you think using the hashtag FootballNowWomen's Day, and we'll see you very soon for more Football Now.